Hello Commanders, Commander Plater here, back with another Elite Dangerous video, and today we're taking a look at the changes to the Diamondback Explorer and comparing it to the Dolphin to try and determine who is the budget exploration king. Okay, so the first ship we're going to take a look at is going to be the Diamondback Explorer in update 2.203, which is currently live. So first of all, there are going to be some things that aren't changed, some things that have changed, but we're going to focus on pretty much the real things that have changed, and we're going to skim over some other bits and bobs. So first of all, we've still got the large hardpoint and the two medium ones, which to be honest is quite well armed for a ship of its size and price. Utility mounts, we've still got 4 utility mounts here in 2.203. The core internals, we have got a size 4 power plant, 4 thrusters, 5 FSD, 3 life support, 4 power distributor, 3 sensors, and a fuel tank of 5. Then we have got optionals. We have got 2 size 4, 2 size 3, a size 2 and a size 1. Now there will be some changes to this in the beta, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So at the moment you can see its jump range is 14.15 light years, and that's the absolute maximum for it. Integrity 270, and the actual cost of the ship as well, which we'll talk about because I think that's going to be pretty relevant, is... So it's 1,662,652 credits. Now it does look like that price is going to be changing in the beta, so let's jump over and have a look at that now. Okay, so some immediate changes we can have a look at here with the 2.3 update. As you can see, it's got an increased jump range already, and so it's up to 15.61 light years, and this is with no modifications whatsoever. This is just a stock Diamondback Explorer. So hardpoints, as you can see, these have stayed the same. Utility mounts, still got 4 there as well. The core internals, so still size 4, 4, the 5 frame shift drive, 3 life support, 4 power distributor, 3 sensors. Now the optionals, this is where you can see a difference here. So we've got 2 4s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and then a size 1 as well, which is obviously your planetary approach suite. So yeah, as you can see, definitely a buff there. Also, something that I want to mention with it as well is if we look in the shipyard. Now, bearing in mind all prices in the beta are about 10% of what they're expected to be in live. Now, the Diamondback Explorer has had a change in price, so now it looks like it's going to be around about the 1.8 million mark, which is still pretty cheap, so it's still pretty good. Now, something else I want to pull into the mix is the Dolphin, and how that compares at its current price point. Now, the armour is nowhere near the same, that's really important to point out, and its shields are slightly stronger though. So, we're going to go have a look at a Dolphin, and we'll do some comparisons. Okay, so immediately the Dolphin does have a slightly shorter jump range, which is quite important, but it is about 500,000 credits cheaper, so that's kind of what's to be expected. So hardpoints, it's got 2 smalls. Utility mounts, it only has 3. Core internals, it does have considering the size of the ship, a really good size FSD. So we've got 4 power plant, 5 thrusters, 4 FSD, 4 life support, 3 power distributor, 3 sensors, and a slightly smaller fuel tank as well. Now into the optionals, it has so many more options. This is really something to bear in mind. Now if you wanted to, you could turn this into a real long range exploration ship, and it's quite easy to do, and that's something I've toyed around with in the beta myself, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. So it's got a 5 economy class cabin, this is a actual slot that can only be equipped with cargo, passenger or hull reinforcement stuff. Then we've got size 4, 3, 2, 2, 2. I think that's the extra one there, so we've got an extra size 2 and a size 5, which the Diamondback Explorer doesn't have. So, engineering options, and I think that's going to be worth talking about. Now, I have engineered a Dolphin already, and I've done some pretty reasonably interesting things with it, so we're going to pull that out and take a look. Okay, so my modded Dolphin. We've got a jump range up to 42 light years, which is pretty huge when you think about it. Now, with regards to outfitting, this is with no weapons in there whatsoever. Utility mounts, empty again. The core internals, as you can see, I've gone for a power plant. This is going to be slightly overcharged. I think I've got a lightweight for a lot of things actually. Overcharged just because it's cheap, it's light, and it works. Thrusters, we've gone light. FSD is going to be range increased. Life support lightened. Everything else is basically lightened. Power distributor didn't need to worry about it at all. So that kind of cores. The optional stuff, we've got an auto field maintenance unit. Now at the moment I've got an empty slot. Now if I were to put in there a passenger cabin, it barely drops the jump range. Obviously we go for luxury, they're slightly heavier, which is to be thought about, but it does decrease the range slightly. But you could potentially have a really good exploration ship out of the Dolphin with some very minimal changes. We've got an advanced discovery scanner. I've got an empty slot here. This could easily be equipped with a surface scanner and barely affects the jump range, and we've still got the power for it. Obviously I've had some really good solid rolls on this one, but yeah, there it is. Super fragile, really worth bearing in mind that the ship will fall apart if you get into any spot of trouble. No SRV on it, but we're going to assume this is for a straight efficient go, and this is a super cheap ship. You know, it is a very, very, very cheap ship, and that's worth bearing in mind. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've done with the Dolphin, the same kind of plan engineering wise, to try and make it into, well, with the Diamondback Explorer, sorry, I'm going to try and make it into the exact same kind of fitting loadout type thing with the same intention of it's a Diamondback Explorer, so we're going to go exploring on it. So we're going to give that a go and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so for the engineering, I decided that we're going to have a look at some stuff. Obviously FSD is going to be going increased range. Now it's already got pretty decent jump range on this thing already, so we should be able to get something really good out of this. Obviously fish engineering in the beta is absolutely fantastic. And let's assume we're not going to go for absolute perfect rolls because, you know, you're a normal human being and you probably don't have time to sit there and do loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of engineering. Now I'm going to leave engines alone, FSD, power distributor, don't really need to worry about that. Armour, we've got lightweight alloys already. It's not really worth us actually doing anything to it because we're not going to be in combat. I mean, maybe it's worth going lightweight armour if you've got the roll for it. Definitely, I think I'd recommend that under the circumstances because it doesn't really increase your weight, sorry, and you know you'll have a bit more protection out there because let's face it, you're going to be probably out for a while in this ship. You know what? Something I've actually forgotten for the outfitting: fuel scoop. Can you imagine that? That'd be a mistake, wouldn't it? So in a minute, I'm going to replace this cargo rack here with a fuel scoop, and we'll put something else down here. And in fact, you know, we'll do that now. And then hopefully I'll remember. So into the engineering workshop. So we're going to lighten everything up that we can. So life support, we can make them lightweight. We will do that. And I'm taking kind of, I guess, mid to high tier rolls. And again, we're going to go lightweight on these heatsink launchers, which we could have applied to the Dolphin as well, but it will reduce its jump range, so it's worth bearing that in mind. Now if you're smart, you can avoid getting yourself in a whip situation and everything will be fine. Everything's fine. I seem to be quite lucky in rolls on the beta. I don't know if they change the way it works, but certainly. And you know, we're going to go for long range scanner because it's going to increase the exploration speed and all that kind of stuff. But that's just for, I guess, test purposes. I do need to go and actually sell the weapons as well. We'll go to the AFM and we'll might as well make that shielded because we can. That's almost a perfect roll. Wow, that's good. Okay, so unfortunately, hearing that power plant capacity exceeded is never a good thing. So we're going to outfitting and we're going to see how far off we are. Yep, we're pretty far off. So, okay, so let's quickly engineer the fuel scoop. We can make it shielded, which is a bit kind of redundant in my mind because we've got the AMF. But yep, so we're going to have a look at the outfitting, and I can tell you finally what we've managed to turn this thing into. So 51 light years, and obviously this is pretty basic stuff. I'm not going to go all out, go for perfect rolls and all that kind of stuff. And I've said it before that I'm not huge into loadouts and finding the absolute best loadout I possibly can. But I thought it'd be worth showing this one off, having a little look at it, and kind of showing the differences between these ships. So obviously hard points are now empty because we don't need them. We're not going to need weapons whilst we're exploring. We are not exploring with democracy. I've gone for a couple of heatsink launchers because they are going to be pretty handy for those times when you find yourself too close to a star and you start overheating and you want to look after yourself. Now I've gone for lightweight alloys, and we've gone lightweight armour for that just because it's some freebies, so it's fine. Power plant I haven't needed to engineer whatsoever. Thrusters I've just left as stock because we're not going to be doing a huge amount. I mean, yeah, I suppose there are some options. If you had the money for it, and this is quite important, you had the money, you can buy the 4D ones. But it all depends on I mean, this is all about exploration on a shoestring budget. So, top FSD size, obviously engineered, lightweight, everything else basically. Everything that we can put lightweight on, we have. Over into the optionals, we have got a very small cargo, and we've got fuel scoop in there. Automated field maintenance unit. Now, it's worth bearing in mind, obviously you're not going to be doing much in the way of planetary exploration. I'm going to assume so. But what we could do is you could potentially put a hangar in there. We could pick this one here that's got, makes no sense to me why, but yep, less energy. And look, we're just spot on. So yeah, still got 50 light year range. And if we got a scarab as well. Okay, so there we go. And this is going to be a very nice little exploration ship, I would say. The value of it, though, is something to bear in mind. It's going to be a little bit more expensive to load out, in my experience so far. But it's got a really, really good jump range on it. So, but there you go. That's my short little comparison, I guess, between the Dolphin as an exploration ship, and also bear in mind with the Dolphin you can fit those luxury cabins as well, so you could make some very, very good money out of those types of missions, especially if you're allied with the faction that you're going to be going there with, and worth bearing in mind, I guess. But okay, give me your opinions in the comments. I want to know, are you going to be buying a Dolphin? Are you going to be using it for exploration? Are you going to be making the most of the Diamondback Explorer buff? That extra module slot for that size 2 module slot, is that going to be worth it? Is that going to be worth it to you? Is it worth that price increase in there, that extra 200,000? I don't know. I've never really flown both ships. I can't really say. But certainly I will be definitely testing out a Dolphin in live when 2.3 happens. Big fan of the Dolphin. Hashtag save the Dolphin. So, once again, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Commander Plater out.